Today, Jesse, Danielle, and I are going to demonstrate a 3-point gait pattern and a modified 3-point gait pattern, which might also be called a 3-1 gait pattern. These types of gait patterns are used for patients who have one lower extremity that's full weight bearing and then the other lower extremity that is either partial or non-weight bearing. And then both limbs are able to support the body. So the partial weight bearing gait pattern is called the modified 3-point gait pattern. So a non-weight bearing limb uses a 3-point gait pattern, as you'll see in a second when we demonstrate. The 3-point gait pattern is much quicker than the than the partial weight bearing, but it also provides less stability and requires more energy and endurance to be used by the patient. As with any exercise, it's important to put a gait belt on the patient, even if you're not physically touching them, because it gives that extra level of security for the patient. All right, Jesse, so what we're going to start off with is a traditional 3-point pattern. Your right leg is obviously the affected limb in your knee immobilizer. So what you're going to do is follow all of your weight-bearing precautions by bearing no weight on that leg. And that leg is going to move simultaneously with your arms. So when you step with the crutches, you're going to keep that leg out forward as well. So then to transfer your weight, you're going to step through the crutches alternately. So what you're going to do is keep one leg, your fully weight-bearing leg, independent, and then your non-weight-bearing leg and your crutches together. Does that make sense?
It does.
All right, so let's give it a try.
How far forward do I go?
You want to just go about 6 inches or so in front of your dominant foot.
Okay.
And step through. Good. And step through. Good. So that foot's never touching the ground, so you're staying with your weight-bearing status.
Great, thank you.
Go ahead. As you can see, this is the exact same pattern, just a lateral view. You can see that Jesse's non-weight-bearing limb is not touching the ground at all and is staying in sync with the crutches. All right, now we're going to teach Jesse the modified 3-point pattern, or it's also sometimes called a 3-1 pattern. So in this type of gait pattern is used for somebody who is partial weight bearing instead of non-weight bearing. So as you can see, Jesse's right leg is going to be the partial weight bearing leg. And it's kind of the same principle as a regular 3-point pattern. You're going to keep your affected limb in sync with the crutches. But this time, since you're partial weight bearing, you're going to distribute your weight evenly with the crutches and your limb. So when you take a step, you're going to take it with your right leg and the crutches in sync about the same distance and keep your weight evenly distributed, and then step through with your left leg.
Okay.
You ready to give it a try?
Ready.
All right. Yeah, there you go. Take a step with your right leg. Now step through with your left. Nope. Yep. Go with your right and through with your left. Now step with your right. Good. And through with your left. With the right. There you go. Perfect.
Great.
All right, and here's the same thing just from an anterior view. So Jesse's going to take a step with the crutches and his right leg at the same time. He's evenly distributing his weight, so he's not full weight bearing on that right leg. He's putting a little bit of weight through his arms as well. All right, so we're just going to demonstrate the same exact movement, but with a walker, because there's just one slight difference. Instead of, like with crutches, when you step through the crutch, you obviously can't do that with a walker since it's right in front of you. So you're going to step up to it, but not through it. Got it?
Got it.
Okay, so you're going to, again, step with the walker and your affected leg at the same time. The only correction I'm going to make is to try and set that walker down firmly with all four, so you're not kind of rocking it. There you go. Now step into the walker. You can keep it maybe a little bit closer. Perfect. Looks good. All right, and finally we're just going to demonstrate a non-weight bearing 3-point gait pattern. So for demonstration purposes, Jesse's going to use his right leg as non-weight bearing. Again, it's the same thing. You're going to keep your right leg in sync with the walker, keep it somewhat close to you, and follow through. follow two with your right foot, but not through, like we would with the crutches.
Okay.
So his right leg's not touching the ground at all. He's keeping it in line with the walker and stepping up to it, then transferring his weight again. Looks good.